this is what life is all about? Just working every day, trying to make $1? Basically, there's two avenues you can roll down in life. You can either roll down the avenue that there is a God and a creator that made everything, or you can roll down the avenue that says there's nothing, Big Bang Theory, or evolution.
When scientists would tell you that the world was created through evolution, that's not logically consistent. Because those people who do the test of our gene, who do genetic mutation, will tell you that genes are not the same. Some people may say we came out of apes, but the human gene and the gene of an ape is not the same. And if we all came from apes, then forever the gene of a man and the gene of an ape has to be the same. But that is logically inconsistent. That I take a piece of volcano or a piece of explosion and allow it to explode and scatter all over and immediately begin to form these formative genes, species that begin to construct into human beings, into birds, into animals, into trees, into mountains, and all of them do not have the same genetic code. Because if we go back to the explosion, the Big Bang Theory, it doesn't make sense for this explosive instrument that happened to come all together and began to form a unique composed identity of humans, trees, animals, bees, insects, and their proposition or what they are saying is not logically consistent. Plus, it's not existential. You can live by that deceptive lie that something explode, and all out of that chaos, we all that emerge with this unique identification.
We stop at Fordham, 125th Street, and Grand Central Parallel. 605, train to New York, Fordham next.
Once you're here, back to the train ride. 2002 is around the start of the movie. I'm gonna just head over to New York. It's about a 45-minute train ride from where I live. I'm gonna head over there and talk to some people. We're gonna go through Avenue number 2 first. I don't believe in anything. There's nothing at all. Big Bang Theory. Avenue number 2.
Is it? No idea. Well, alright, what happens when we die then? What kind of questions are these? Well, what happens when we die? Come on, give me some kind of insight on your views. We return to ash and shit like that, man. We go to the ground. Come on. We're having fun over here. What's the meaning of life, my friend?
The meaning of life is having a beautiful girl like this girl here.
So a beautiful girl's the meaning of life.
Over here.
That's the meaning we die, though. What happens when we die?
I marry her.
It's over, that's it.
I see her, I appreciate her, and I marry her.
What's the meaning of life?
To love and be loved.
These people base their lives on nothing. People have no solid reasons why we are even here.
Meaning of life?
Love.
What's gonna happen when we die? Then that's it.
I think nothing.
Nothing.
And that's probably the worst of all.
So.
Why? Because then why when you're dead and you can't think anymore, you can't look back.
So that's perfect.
About the things in life. Yeah, but why did you do all those things in life?
To satisfy yourself.
Yeah, but you can't think back when you're dead.
No, but you don't have to think that when you're dead. It's also okay when you're alive.
Okay, when you're alive, but if we're going to die eventually.
Yeah.
All of us.
Yeah.
So what is the meaning of life?
I thought of you.
If you don't believe in God or if you don't believe in life after death.
Yeah.
No, we just don't think about that.
That seems to be the gist of all these people. They really don't even think about it. They really don't even think. They don't even care. All they want to do is live for now, for today, for the world.
I don't believe there is much meaning to life. I think we're here for no reason, and we should just make the best out of the 80 years we got.
So people can design that so that our conscience will be seared and will become anemic to what is evil. then we can do everything we want to do.
The meaning of life to me is to have fun.
But when we die, what happens then?
Who cares what happens then?
Who cares what happens when we die? We live to eventually die.
In heaven or hell?
Not as places, but as states of being, yes.
Yeah, given them.
And how do you get to these places?
We've had so much fun.
You know, if I knew the precise answer to that, I would, I don't know. I would be here or the same person that I am.
Which you would be getting
agnostic. So I'm at the point where I'm not really sure if there is a God. I'm not ruling out the possibility. I'm just not sure.
God or a religion?
No.
When we die, where do we go?
We stay here. As the trees and the birds and plants, everything else.
Okay. Now, as far as we are concerned, historically and intellectually, nobody has proven, has a testimony of reincarnation. It's just a theory that people believe. Even if it is true, how are you going to believe that your spirit that is sitting down here, when you die or I die tomorrow, the spirit will go out of me, go take another body and get into that body and come and exist again? If your spirit is in an unconscious state of existence when you die, how is it going to be conscious to know that is in another person? Which is a whole lie.
Not believe in a God.
Alright, so when we die, we just die, that's it.
Pretty much.
I don't really know if I believe in God or not.
So when we die, that's it, it's over.
So it's basically freelance. I believe there is a higher being, I believe there is a God, but any particular religion I don't conform to yet. I believe there's an afterworld, but what it is, I don't know.
All I hear is, I don't know, or who cares? Well, I want to know, and I care. Non-religious and other, getting crossed out. Next up on beliefs around the world, Hinduism.
Do you believe in a God or religion?
Yes, I believe in 4.
4 gods?
Yes.
Okay, so what is your religion?
I'm a practicing Hindu.
So when we die, where do we go?
We become other animals. We are reincarnated into other beings.
The theory of reincarnation has too many flaws. And if you're gonna base your life religion, your life study, your life belief on something that just ends with a flaw, this is the Hindu Bible, the book they go by and they live by. It's called the Bhagavad Gita. And I hope I said that right. But what's going to be a little bit harder is who it's written by. And it's written by one man, and all his ideas and philosophies he put down in this book. And his name is A-C-B-H-A-K. I'm just going to spell it out. And then Swami, I could pronounce that one. Swami. And then the last one I can't pronounce, begins with a P. But that's who the book was written by. This book was just written by him, one person, all his ideas. This book is written by one man. Just written with his philosophies, his ideas. It's a testimony just given by him. It's not a way of life. It's just a theory from somebody. Just like the Big Bang. I'm gonna have to falsify Hinduism. Hinduism will now be marked off the pinwheel of world beliefs. Next up, Islam. To find out about this God, I went to the heart of the faith. I drove myself right to a mosque. Here it is right now. Some backgrounds from the mosque.
إذا رفضت فأقم صلبك وارفع رأسك حتى ترجع العظام إلى مفاصلها. When you raise up your head, أقم صلبك, straighten your head, وارفع رأسك.
Yeah, you can look it up, but I want to give you some. What you need?
Just in the Quran, like, how did it come about?
The Quran, the time Prophet Muhammad, he was alive.
Angel Jibril, you know Angel Jibril. Gabriel. Like Gabriel. Like,
So an angel came to...
He was bringing down from time to time according to the situation, what needs now the day. What is the situation for the day? God, this is Allah, we say Allah.
Muhammad teaches that you go to heaven by making sacrifices. You fast 30 days a year, you do your sarakah, give your alms, you go to the Ramadan, and if you are lucky, you go to Hajj, you go to Mecca and become a holy one. And that will take you to heaven. Why? But you have to do it every year. If you don't do it one year, you miss on it, then you miss everything. So no Muslim can tell you, if you ask any Muslim, tell them I say so because I was a Muslim. Nobody can tell you Islamic religion definitely that they are going to rise from the dead. Because Muhammad, who gave the principle, is still in the grave.
This is a different God, the God of Muhammad and the angel Gabriel. This God tells us to...
You fast 30 days a year, you do your sarakah, give your alms, you go to the Ramadan, and if you are lucky, you go to Hajj, you go to Mecca and become a holy one.
The God of Muhammad and the angel Gabriel.
No creator makes something for someone else to break or kill or destroy. A verse out of the Quran that talks about cutting off a person's head. Scenes from Muslim television.
The American and their president and the British and those that follow them and the Zionists, the spoiled offspring of the entity. Allah Akbar, to Allah permits nations of Muhammad. Even the stone will say, O Muslim, a Jew is hiding behind me, come cut off his head. And we shall cut off his head by Allah, we shall cut it off. O Jews, Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar. Jihad for the sake of Allah, jihad for the sake of Allah. Victory to Allah, Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar.
What makes the Quran and the Islamic faith off? 1. As Mr. Kofi let us know, if you don't do one thing from the Quran, you miss out. Also, Mr. Kofi explained Muhammad did not rise from the dead. Also, the faith does have violent tendencies, as we've seen the verse out of the Quran that talks about cutting off a Jewish person's head. Also, the testimony of the Quran was given to us by one man and one angel. Who says that angel is good or bad? All these things prove to me the religion is false. Next up on the pinwheel world beliefs, Buddhism.
Buddhists believe in reincarnation, so they believe that you're reborn in a different life form depending on your, the mistakes you've made in the past, or what, born as a human if you've done well, or born as some other type of animal. It's a lower life form.
So Buddha, who's the founder of Buddhism, was alive in India around 600 BC, and in his life he was like a beggar. Like, he just wandered from place to place, like a spiritual beggar, and he would just give advice. So people would ask him questions, and he would answer their questions. The only complete works of Buddha that remain is in Tibetan, and there's 108 books that contain all of his teachings. And so it's also like it's a way of life. So all of Buddha's teachings were advice for living.
This is way too familiar. Hinduism, Buddhism, they both go by the testimony of one man. Okay, forget Hinduism, forget Buddhism. Say I go out there and I spend my life to make a religion and come up with some story on how we got here and write 108 books or 110, how about 110 books? on all the things we should do in life. Would you follow me? I wouldn't. So why would you follow somebody else? Buddhism will now be crossed off the pinwheel of world beliefs.
Jewish. I go to a synagogue. And on campus I go to the Slipka Center. In the Torah, which is sort of like the Old Testament.
Okay, we gotta try to prove this God false or correct. This book is not filled with man's ideas and theories. It's filled with man's historic testimony. It tells us of the creation of everything. Testimonies of different men and historic events. Let's talk about one of the miracles that we're witnessing right now. It is physically impossible for a child to survive without their parent. Not even a child. We were all babies. So if we all just spawned here randomly as babies, we would all die because it would be physically impossible to survive. I'm not just talking about the 10 Commandments. Those are easy. I'm talking about the 650 some odd rules that God gave us along with the 10 Commandments. The rules in the Old Testament and Torah. Rules like we needed to sacrifice an animal like a lamb or a goat for our sins. Our generation could never do all these rules. So as it stands with this God, nobody's getting into heaven. Not me, not you. The only way you get to heaven is if you complete all the rules in the Old Testament and Torah. That's the only way you're making it to heaven. God had to send somebody to complete all the rules to save everybody. God's wonder, a real-time sunset. The God is real, but the law given is impossible. I have to cross off Judaism. Now we know the truth of the real God, we can cross the rest off. Also, all the rest believe in reincarnation. A different God and a reincarnation. Chinese traditional, skimmish, and primal indigenous African, all done. Next up, Christianity.
Muhammad is still in the grave. Buddha is still in the grave. Zoroaster is still in the grave. All the founders of all the major religions in the world are still in the grave. So whatsoever is behind the grave, they don't know. People who are following them are just following them on hearsay. But Jesus rose from the dead. And there is a testimony in the Bible. There is testimony outside of the Bible. If you read any historic document compiled about Jerusalem in the 1st century, it will tell you that a man, Jesus, rose from the dead. We also have a promise to be resurrected from the dead just as he did, which none of the founders of the religious movements in the whole world have done.
Same God as the Jewish God, creator of heaven and earth. The difference is the New Testament. Historic testimony from numerous men about a superhuman person named Jesus, sent here by God to fulfill his law and make it to heaven and God. Now, whoever believes and follows in Jesus can make it to where he is, with God in heaven. The New Testament gives the world redemption. The New Testament is an eyewitness testimony given by multiple men. It is not one man's theory or ideas. It's eyewitness testimony of a supernatural man sent here by God to get mankind to heaven with God. People have become confused about Christianity, and they call it different names now, and I will circle them now. All the different names of Christianity, I will circle. And then I will have to cross out, because they are all man-made, and they are flawed. Christianity is found in the Old and New Testament, not through a man. Today we have learned the meaning of life. Christianity out of the Old and New Testament.